So hello and welcome to this first edition of Data Exploration. Hello everybody and welcome to this first Curbal Data Lab. Here's the thing, as I explained before in another video, we're going to explore different ways on how to compare two or more variables. And I found on Twitter this visualization. It comes from a German newspaper. Unfortunately, I don't have the source, but this is something that I did not do myself. That it looked like this, and I thought that this is quite a neat way to compare two things against each other. So we're going to do it with the Pacific Data Hub data. So this is going to be exports and imports, but you can do anything. You can do sales this year against last year. You can compare any two things in time. And I think it looks very easy to understand, and it looks pretty. So what a best way. Now, can we do this in Power BI? Not out of the box, but with Charticulator we actually do. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to reproduce a version of this in Charticulator. So it's kind of a Charticulator tutorial too, but you can't take the tool out of the visualization. It's just not possible. So let's get started. Let's do this visualization. Okay, so I've shown you on a Curbal video how to get this data. Go and watch that video and grab it. And what we're going to visualize is exports versus imports by continent for all the Pacific countries. Okay, and we're going to do it according to the picture that you saw. So what we need is continent exports, imports, and the trade balance, the difference between the exports and imports. And once we have that, make sure you download the latest version of Charticulator. So go here and get more visual Charticulator or use Charticulator Web. It works too. The Charticulator Web actually is more up to date, believe it or not. So let's start creating the chart basically. First of all, make sure that you move all fields to the data so we can have access to them. And if you think about how the visualization looked, it was basically two bar charts that were like next to each other. So that's the effect that we want to get. So the mark is going to be a rectangle. Just put it in there, as easy as that. And then we're going to put the imports, for example, as a height. So these are the imports. And then we are going to color it by continent. And now this is a new addition to Charticulator. You have actually the possibility to round the corners a little bit. It's a little bit weird how it works, but hey, it does work, so I'm happy. So now we're rounding the corners a little bit, as you can see. So this part was very easy, wasn't it? Now we need to have a chart on the back. So first of all, let's bring some space in here. Oh, the other way around, sorry. Let's put some space between the bars. Okay, so now we are going to put another chart in front of this chart in order to create the background effect, so the bar chart on the back. And to do that, we're going to make this one a little bit smaller because we want to have them around half of the size of that. So we're going to create a new glyph, so it's like a new chart on top of each other. And we need to have some guides. You cannot put things out of the, in the outer space in here in the canvas, but you can put guides anywhere that you like. So I'm going to put one in the middle there, and then I'm going to put one in the middle around here, and that's going to be where we will place our new plot segment. So it's going to be from there to there. If you don't do this and save, then everything will go to default. So you need to make sure you do this. Now, next thing we're going to put the new bar chart. This one is for the backside. And then we're going to add the export data. And we want to have this again bigger. So it looks like that, something like that. Now, the next thing I want to have is to color this by the shape, by continent. So the field in there, color it. But we want to have the opacity a little bit lighter, and then we want to round it to, how much you round it is up to you actually. And the basically you have now the basic of the chart. The next thing I did is, if you remember from the chart that is our inspiration, we have here the variance, so the difference between the heights of the charts, and we're going to also do that. I think it's actually quite useful to see what the difference is without actually having to do the math yourself. So we need to put another guide down here in another guide. I'm not sure if I need to have both. I think probably one is enough. And then we're going to have another chart on the back. What I found is that I couldn't put the name of the countries using any of these charts for two reasons. One, so once I start to put labels, it's going to overimpose. And the other one is that it will be shifted because everything is shifted. So I found that it was easier to actually put it in here. I'm going to use plot segment. We're going to get all this zone. And then we're going to put a mark again, the rectangular. We are going to color it, the new rectangle. This is our variance. So we are going to color it. It's actually good to give names to your elements because otherwise it can get pretty tough. But I'm not very good at doing it all the time, to be completely fair with you. So another thing that we're going to do in this glyph is we're going to put the text down there. And the text is going to be our continent. So it's going to tell us which continent the one up there is. We're going to add another text for the actual variance, so the number. So we have it there. Let's change it a little bit. We want to have it actually formatted did I pick the wrong one? Trade balance, yes I did. So this has to be this one. And then I want to have 0s. So we round it nicely. And then we're going to put the labels to these things. I need to have this space because, you know, the label for this is going to be very, very big, so it's going to go down, and I don't want it to mount on top of these. That's why I have that gap in the middle. You might not need to put the labels in here at all. You can put a table on the side, up to you. I just want to give you ideas of how this could be done, basically. So we're going to first drop the text. I want to have it on the corner, and I want to have it there, and I also want to rotate it like that. I don't know if this is a good practice or not. Maybe it shouldn't have it like that. But I just want to show you possibilities, and you decide how you want to format everything. And this one was, that's why it's good to give names to your chart so you know what it is. It was the import. So let's call what it is import. And then the text, it should be then import number. And we need to format that too. There. 0s. There you have it. And make it a little bit smaller. That's too big. So you can barely see it there, which is probably... Maybe I should have it, probably it's better to have it like that. Yeah, much better. Okay, so that's the one. And then for the other, you need to do the exact same thing. You just pick the right glyph, put it in the corner, move it there. This is going to be the export. And then you need to format it accordingly. 0s. And then make it smaller. And put it so it looks almost like the same as the other one. And maybe we don't need to actually have that big space anymore, which could be a good thing. Yep. So save, back. And this is our gorgeous chart. How easy was it to do? I mean, maybe there's an easier way, you know, I've been overlaying quite a bit, but I couldn't find a way to actually shift them without overlaying. But I think this is quite a powerful way to compare two variables and also be understandable for people that not necessarily read a lot of charts and know how to read charts. Everybody knows how to read a bar chart. This definitely needs a label to show which one of those is imports and with this exports, the same way as they did that. I haven't done that yet, but I mean that's not a difficult thing to do. And that's it. So cool. Have you started doing your data explorations yourself? If you have, let me know what you're coming up with. Otherwise, I will see you as always next week with another data exploration. I have a cool one, but I'm still finding it. So I'm not sure how it's going to come out. But I will see you again next week. Have fun.